Welcome back to the Old Yadkin Valley Speedway, home to the Winston-Salem Racing Series and the Funkhouser Diecast Racing League. It's time for Heat Group 4 of the Merch by Meekin presents the Stock Car Nation Tournament.
That Cousin Ricky fans are in the stands. It's time to drop that green flag. Let's get going.
This is it, ladies and gentlemen, the final heat group of round 1 before we move on to the elimination races. Who's going to be moving on to round 2? Only one way to find out. Let's get down for these driver introductions. Starting us off on the qualifying time of 15.757 seconds in his 1995 Chevy Monte Carlo for Uncle Elvis Racing, it's Uncle Elvis. Up next in his 1984 Ford Thunderbird for Olympiac Performance Diecast Racing, it's Yale Carborough.
Tag in
Wait,
with
what?
his number 43, 1995 Chevy Monte Carlo for Farrell Mods, it's Farrell Patrick.
You have got to stop doing that. In his 1987 Chevy Monte Carlo for Puffs Racing, it's Karate Joe.
If you leave the door open, I'm going to take it just like this. In his 1967 Chevy Chevelle for G-Force Racing, it's Giorgio.
It's called a pause for dramatic effect. Up next in his 2020 Chevy Camaro for Merch by Meekin, it's Tet Tabo.
You can call it what you want. I call it open door and I'm squeezing my way in.
These are your drivers for Heat Group 4 of Round 1. Let's get down to the racing surface. Starting us off in that front inside lane, it's Uncle Elvis. Right next to him, it's Yale Carborough. On the rear row, you've got Farrell Patrick and Karate Joe, and then it's Giorgio, followed by Tet Tabo, as we are set and ready for lap 1, which is now underway. Down the backstretch they go. Uncle Elvis is leading them down into turn 1. You've got a fight for second place between Yale Carborough and Farrell Patrick, as it looks like Yale Carborough's challenging for that first place position as they're heading down the super stretch, down into the home stretch. Who's going to be? It's a three-way fight for first place, but Uncle Elvis takes it. Yale Carborough in second, Farrell Patrick coming in third as we have a collision at the line.
A collision at the line. Did you see what happened in turn 3?
Yes, a tough break for Tet Tabo as the emergency crews are checking in on him at the exit of turn 3. Let's check out the replay cam and see what happened as we see the cars coming through turn 3. Here comes Tet Tabo. He enters the turn just a little too high and he rolls a car over, just barely missing the tire barrier. A tough break for Tet Tabo in race 1. But let's check out this fight for the first place position. As the cars are coming down the super stretch, Uncle Elvis is getting loose. Here come the other two drivers as they're trying to make the pass. You've got Uncle Elvis making a huge block as it looks like Yale Carborough gets loose and he and Farrell Patrick get tangled up at the line.
Woo! How about a way to start off the first race of Group 4?
I second that notion, Ricky, as that was a great way to start off Heat Group 4. Uncle Elvis is still your leader with Yale Carborough in second place and Farrell Patrick in third. You got Giorgio moving up one position over Karate Joe. Tet Tabo is still in the 6th place position. We have 5 laps to go. Who's going to be winning this event? Down the backstretch they go. Uncle Elvis leading them again into turn 1. You have Farrell Patrick right there behind him as Yale Carborough challenging him again through the chicane. Here comes Farrell Patrick making a pass. Oh, he makes a bump and run down to the line. Who's it going to be? He makes a block. He's going to come in first place, followed by Uncle Elvis and Yale Carborough coming in third.
Rubbin is racing, baby, yeah!
Rubbin's racing for sure, but it looks like we had a little more than Rubbin as once again, Tet Tabo is upside down on his roof at the exit of turn 3. As we check out the replay cam, you see him once again entering turn 3 and he loses control of his car, rolling it over and just barely missing that tire barrier once again. As we check out that battle for the lead, you see Farrell Patrick makes a move underneath Yale Carborough. Uncle Elvis gets a little loose. Farrell Patrick makes the best of that situation as he gives him a tap and makes a pass up high as they come out of turn 4. It's a battle for the lead, but you've got Farrell Patrick making a move right in front of Uncle Elvis as he is pushed across the line by Yale Carborough.
I tell you, these guys are really rubbing it out.
Ricky, what have I said about that?
What? What's wrong with saying rubbing it out?
Would you please stop saying that and let me get back to the racing? As now you have a new leader, Farrell Patrick, with Uncle Elvis in second place. Yale Carborough is in third. Will things be shaken up anymore? Lap 3 is underway.
I still don't get it.
Look, I'm not going over this with you again. I'll talk to you later. As it looks like Farrell Patrick is having trouble. Uncle Elvis is once again your leader as he comes down the chain of cane. Oh, he gets loose. He gets tapped and then rolled over by Giorgio, who has trouble. He gets tapped by Tet Tabo. Here they come down to the line. It's going to be Giorgio coming in first place, followed by Tet Tabo barely making it across the line.
Holy cow, more wrecks and another lead change.
Another shakeup in the leaderboard as we go to turn 2 and we check in on Farrell Patrick, who seems to have trouble with his car. And then we go down into turn 3 and we look at Uncle Elvis, who is up on his roof. The emergency crews are checking in on him. Let's check out the replays and see what happened here. As it looks like we come down into turn 2, Farrell Patrick has had some kind of trouble. His car comes to a stop. The other drivers cannot get past him as they shift into neutral and they roll back. As we watch Uncle Elvis coming out of the chicane, his car gets loose and starts bouncing all over the walls as he starts to lose momentum. Here comes Giorgio right behind him. He gives him a tap as Uncle Elvis flips over. Giorgio almost losing all of his momentum. He starts to roll on and then he gets slammed in the rear by Tet Tabo as he's able to make it down to the line. And as we check in with our pit reporter, it seems that Farrell Patrick has had a critical failure of his front axle. His car will have to be taken behind the wall, but he has one more chance in the elimination round. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the cars that were at the rear of the field at the beginning of this race are now your front runners, as you have Giorgio as your leader with Tet Tabo in second. They will be pushed up by Yale Carbo and Uncle Elvis as lap 4 is now underway.
It's time for the underdogs to shine as you have Giorgio leading them down into turn 1.
You've got Uncle Elvis right there on his tail as he's giving him a push through the chicane. Can Uncle Elvis retake the lead as they come down the super stretch? Here they come down to the final stretch. It looks like Giorgio is going to come in first place, followed by Uncle Elvis, Tet Tabo in third, as we have trouble on the stretch between Yale Carbo and Karate Joe.
How about that track time of 15.983 seconds?
As we check in on Karate Joe and Yale Carbo, they are being pulled apart by the emergency crews. Let's check out the replay and see that one last time as you see them coming out of turn 4. You almost had Giorgio losing it completely as he's able to go on, but looks like Karate Joe and Yale Carbo get connected as they end up coming to a halt just before the line. A tough break for both of these drivers. And with 4 laps of competition complete, you have Giorgio as your leader, but you've got Uncle Elvis right there next to him in an outside lane. Can Tet Tabo give Giorgio a push to hang on to that lead? Only one way to find out, as we are set and ready for lap 5, which is now underway. Down the backstretch they go, Giorgio having a nice lead into turn 1 through the S-turns. As they come down into turn 2, here comes Uncle Elvis challenging for the lead. Oh, they all get tangled up into turn 3.
Trouble.
As they come down to the stretch, you've got Uncle Elvis backwards as he comes across the line in first place, followed by Yale Carbo. Here they come down, and you got Karate Joe coming in third. And just like that, after being rolled over in turn 3 just a few laps before, Uncle Elvis is once again your leader as we check in on the drivers in turn 3, as Tet Tabo is once again upside down, and Giorgio is right there in front of him. Let's check out the turn 3 replay cam as these cars seem to have been eaten up by treacherous turn 3. As we watch them enter in the turn, they all get tangled up. Giorgio hits a tire barrier. He gets launched and hit into the Big Mac truck as he gets rolled over.
Oh my God, somebody needs to check in on Bubba Joe.
I'm sure Bubba Joe is okay. He's taking harder licks than that.
I ain't so worried much about him as I am that truck. That literally is his house.
Wait, he lives inside of a tow truck?
Do you not see the size of that thing?
Look, we'll send the emergency crews to go check in on him. But let's get back down to the racing as Uncle Elvis is once again your leader with Yale Carbro in second place. Who's going to be your winner? As we have seen, anything has happened in this event. White flag is out. 1 lap to go.
I'll be sure to let him know how much you appreciate him.
Wait, what?
I said Uncle Elvis is leading them down at turn 1.
Oh, he's starting to pull away as they're heading into turn 2. Can Yale Carbro catch up to him as he's being pushed by Giorgio? Uncle Elvis gets a little loose as he's heading down into turn 4. Down to the line, Uncle Elvis is going to be your leader, followed by Yale Carbro, Giorgio, then Karate Joe and Tet Tabo bringing up the rear.
He started on the pole, had some trouble, but he was able to pull it off.
Yes, Ricky, and with that, your winner is going to be Uncle Elvis, followed by Yale Carbro. Then you've got Giorgio coming in third, followed by Karate Joe, Tet Tabo, and then you've got Farrell Patrick, who's had trouble and sitting behind the wall. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that brings it in to the first 4 heat groups of round 1. But don't forget, we still have 2 more elimination races. These 12 drivers will be battling out to figure out which 6 will be moving on to round 2. So make sure you stick around next week to find out. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for being a part of the content here at the Old Yadkin Valley Speedway. And if you love the content you see, please remember to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and make sure you share it with your friends as we bring you more exciting racing action here from the Old Yadkin Valley Speedway.
And don't forget to visit Merch by Meekin for all your custom metal diecast signs and much more, as well as your Cousin Ricky merchandise. Get it out, it's flying off the shelves.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Let's just say what?
What?
Haha, Ricky still number one.